Look around. How many times have investors been kept in the dark while decisions happen behind closed doors? How many founders have been sold a dream, only to realize months later that transparency was just a word tossed around to sound good, but never practiced? The truth is, lack of transparency in fund management isn't just annoying, it's crushing. It's the silent killer of trust, the root of frustration, the reason why great ideas stall or die because people can't see what's really going on or trust the process. And it's happening way too often. Founders feel ignored, like their voice doesn't matter, even though they're the ones actually building something real. Investors get blindsided by reports that don't add up or answers they can't trust. Behind every missed opportunity, there's a wall of silence or smoke and mirrors disguising how money moves, how decisions get made, and who's really in charge. This isn't just about good manners or best practices, it's about survival. If you can't see what's happening with your capital or your partners, you're flying blind, and blind isn't sustainable. But here's where it gets interesting. Being transparent isn't about spilling every detail or opening the floodgates to chaos. It's about being ruthless in communication, precise in what matters, and brutal about accountability. If you want to fix this mess, you have to go deeper than saying, "We're transparent." You need to rethink every report, every update, every conversation. Make information accessible but meaningful. Don't drown your partners in data, but don't give them scraps either. Frame the real picture, not some polished PR version. Here's a rule. Start tracking the decisions that move the needle and share the why behind them. Not just the numbers, but the reasoning, the risks you weighed, the alternatives you rejected. This kills gossip, cuts down on mistrust, and turns investors from passive check writers into real partners. Next, set regular moments of brutal honesty. No sugarcoating, where your team and your investors can call out what's working and what's failing. This level of openness makes a culture unbreakable, because everyone is rowing the same way, or at least knows why the boat might be tipping. Forget about hiding mistakes. Own them, share how you're fixing them, and ask for advice openly. This changes your fund from a black box into a living, breathing entity where people actually want to belong and contribute. And yes, it's hard. This degree of transparency demands courage. It disrupts old habits where information was power, which power players hoarded and weaponized. But here's the kicker. Once you do this, once you break down those walls, you unlock something massive. You get alignment that's real and not just on paper. You turn investors into allies who are ready to fight for your vision rather than drift away in skepticism. You build a reputation that attracts not just money, but the right money. Partners who get the mission, who can challenge you, who bring in more than capital but real strategic muscle. So what's the move? Stop pretending transparency is optional or a nice to have. Demand from your general partners and fund managers radical clarity and openness. Force your teams to speak in straight facts and sharp context. If someone resists, question why and hold them accountable, because resistance to transparency is resistance to progress. Build simple dashboards focused on impact, not vanity metrics. Share failures like you share wins. Create a pulse, weekly or bi-weekly, where everyone can ask what's really going on and get a real answer. Hold these sessions like your fund's future depends on it, because it does. The missing link in fund management isn't a secret strategy or a new tech tool. It's brutal humility in communication and the guts to tear down the walls that protect old power structures. Get that right, and you don't just manage money, you build legacy. You empower founders to build wildly ambitious companies with real backing. You give investors the clear view they deserve so they can double down with confidence. This is how trust grows, how impact scales, and how the whole system starts working for those who actually create value, not just the ones who sit at the top making moves in the dark. Stop settling for half-truths and hidden agendas. Insist on transparency like it's your survival kit, because in this game, That's exactly what it is. Don't just watch this problem happen to others. Own it. Lead it. Make transparency the beating heart of your fund, even if it shakes everything you know right now. Transparency isn't just nice, it's the only way forward. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit the featured link to discover more.